Hello, this is the AEE Lyfe Silver action camera, which we purchased on Amazon recently for around $30. This camera has a number of features, both with recording video and taking pictures. We haven't taken any videos or pictures yet, but this video will be specifically for showing you different video clips recorded at different resolutions with this action camera, the AEE Lyfe, L-Y-F-E, silver action camera. So there are a number of features on this camera, different resolution settings. We can just show you really quickly before going to the next part of this video. This was around $30. That's what we purchased it for. It's a very small, they typically are, small action camera, and the AEE Lyfe Silver. We're going to take some photos, make some videos, and show you just so you can decide for yourself if you think the video quality looks good. So here's the menu, some different video resolution settings here. As you can see, they have 4K at 10 frames per second, which is probably not very smooth. Also not very smooth, probably 2.7K, 15 frames per second. My personal favorite video setting, 1080p, 60 frames per second, 1440p, 30 frames per second, and 720p. 120 frames per second. So this is all very exciting. Going to just look forward to making some videos with this camera and showing you so you can see if this is something that you might be interested in purchasing based on the footage that you see. I'm not going to make my review just yet, but we're going to go outside, take some pictures, record some videos so you can just see for yourself if you think that the quality here is acceptable. Again, we purchased this for around $30, but I'm not going to guarantee that that's going to be the price that you will pay. So feel free to just watch, sorry, touch screen here. Feel free to just watch the next few videos and just decide for yourself if you think the quality looks good. This is the AEE Lyfe, L-Y-F-E, silver action camera that we recently purchased on Amazon. See you in the next video.
Hello, this is another 1080p 60 frames per second video test with the AEE Lyfe silver action camera that we recently purchased on Amazon for around $30. This is the AEE Lyfe silver action camera, 1080p video test, 60 frames per second. I would say overall, I'm very, very impressed with the quality of this video for a $30 camera. At least that's the price that we purchased it for. So I would just say that for $30, the price that we purchased it for, I think I'm very happy with this purchase, and I would make videos with this camera on vacation. That's how good I think the quality is. I would use this camera to record videos on vacation. So I think it's very impressive, a $30 camera making videos on vacation. I mean, I'm not planning on going on vacation anytime soon, but if I do go, I'll be sure to take this camera. This is a 1080p video test, 60 frames per second on this Sunday late afternoon, July 2021. With the AEE Lyfe silver action camera that we purchased for around $30. Again, I would say I'm very impressed with this video quality for the price that we paid, which is again $30. And yeah, it's always interesting to see that no matter how much you pay, there's really no guarantee that the quality is going to be very good on an action camera, but sometimes you can pay very little and still have a quality product. So just make sure you do your research, and thanks for watching this video. This is a 1080p 60 frames per second video test. Day is almost over. Sunday late afternoon with the AEE Lyfe silver action camera. It was cloudy today. I thought it was going to rain, but it's turning out to be a very nice day. Summer 2021 with this cheap action camera. 1080p video test, 60 frames per second. Hello, this is a 1080p video test at 60 frames per second. This is my favorite resolution setting. 1080p video test, 60 frames per second. I really like this camera at this particular setting. Video test, 60 frames per second.
But let me position you guys.
Ten 1080p video test, 60 frames per second. Hello, this is another 1080p 60 frames per second video test with the AEE Lyfe silver action camera. We purchased on Amazon for a little bit more than $30 in total. I'm not guaranteeing that you're going to pay that price. Anyways, so far I really like this action camera, not just for the video quality but also for the photo quality, which I was very impressed by considering the price that we bought it for. This is just a 1080p resolution video test at 60 frames per second with this cheap action camera, budget friendly. Don't know if they're still selling it on Amazon, but that's where we got it from. The AEE Lyfe silver action camera, which goes all the way to 4K resolution at 10 frames per second, but that's not very smooth. This is my favorite video setting, 1080p resolution at 60 frames per second. And I think this setting is very good on this cheap action camera, which is surprising to me because usually you have to pay at least $50 just to have the chance of having a good action camera with this kind of quality on with 1080p 60 frames per second. But here we have it. I'll let you decide for yourself if you think this is good quality with the AEE Lyfe silver action camera, 1080p 60. Hello, this is a 1080p 60 frames per second video test with the AEE Lyfe silver action camera, which we purchased on Amazon recently for around $30. I really like this action camera. I think for the price that we bought it for, which was a little over $30 in total, I'm not guaranteeing that you'll pay that price. Personally I think this is a great action camera, especially on the 1080p 60 frames per second resolution setting, which is my favorite setting. I think it's a good combination of quality and smooth looking video. This is just a 1080p 60 frames per second video test to show you what this camera, show you how good the quality looks. Again, I leave it up to you to decide, but I personally really like this camera so far, and I'm really enjoying the experience of using this camera. And not only that, but not only with the video, but I also like the photo setting as well. Again, this is a 1080p 60 frames per second video test with the AEE Lyfe silver action camera. Hello, this is a 1080p video test. 1080p video test at 60 frames per second with the AEE Lyfe Silver action camera. We purchased this recently on Amazon for around $30. This is a 1080p 60 frames per second video test. So far I'm very impressed with the quality of this video. I mean the quality of this footage. It's seems to be a nice little camera for around $30. That's what we purchased it for. So far very impressed with the quality of this camera. 1080p video test at 60 frames per second with the AEE Lyfe Silver action camera, which has many features, both for recording video and lots of photo features as well. Hello, this is a 1080p 60 frames per second video test with the AEE Lyfe Silver action camera that we recently purchased on Amazon for around $30. This is a video test, 1080p 60 frames per second, to see how well you can hear me right now, how good you think the audio quality is. It's totally, I mean the video quality is. It's totally up to you to decide if you think this is good quality or not. This is just a video test and audio test with this camera. I encourage you to do your research if you're thinking about this camera or other cameras. Just please look at sample footage at different resolution settings. So this is just a video test, 1080p 60 frames per second with the AEE Lyfe Silver action camera that we purchased for around $30 on Amazon. (1080p video test, 60 frames). Hello, this is a 1080p 60 frames per second video test with the AEE Lyfe Silver action camera. 1080p video test, 60 frames per second video test with the AEE Lyfe Silver action camera. Purchased for around $30 on Amazon. 1080p video test, 60 frames per second. Just to test to see how good the audio quality is, how well you can hear me right now. Again, this is the AEE Lyfe Silver action camera. This is just a 1080p video test, 60 frames per second with this cheap action camera that we purchased on Amazon for around $30. Hello, this is a 1080p video test, 60 frames per second with the AEE Lyfe Silver action camera. This is a relatively cheap action camera that we purchased on Amazon for around $30, and we're just making some videos to see how good the video quality is, how good the audio quality is with this cheap action camera. Again, this is a 1080p 60 frames per second video test. (1080p 60 frames per second video test with the AEE Lyfe Silver action camera that we purchased recently for around $30 on Amazon. So far, with the number of features on this $30 camera, I'm very impressed. This is the AEE Lyfe Silver action camera, 1080p video test at 60 frames per second. (1080p video test, 60 frames per second with the ultra-wide viewing angle, which creates the fisheye effect. 1080p 60 frames per second with the ultra-wide viewing angle, which creates the fisheye effect. I think this is good quality on this setting. I usually don't like the fisheye effect, so I change it to the medium viewing angle. Again, this is the 1080p 60 frames per second with the ultra-wide viewing angle on, which creates this fisheye effect. Hello, this is a 720p 120 frames per second video test with the AEE Lyfe Silver action camera that we purchased on Amazon for around $30. Again, this is a 720p video test, 120 frames per second with the AEE Lyfe Silver action camera. (720p video test, 120 frames per second. Hello, this is a 720p video test at 60 frames per second with the AEE Lyfe Silver action camera. 720p video test, 60 frames per second. (720p video test, 60 frames per second. Hello, this is a 4K video test at 10 frames per second. 4K video test, 10 frames per second with a AEE Lyfe Silver action camera. Only 10 frames per second, so the footage is not going to look very smooth, but again, this is the AEE Lyfe Silver action camera. 4K resolution video test, 10 frames per second. Hello, this is a 2.7K resolution video test, 15 frames per second with the AEE Lyfe Silver action camera. 2.7K video test, 15 frames per second. .7K video test, 15 frames per second.